Hi everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. Today we're at Mike Morgan Hyundai in Shreveport, Louisiana, and this is the 2023 Hyundai Elantra N. We're going to try and answer the question, is this the right compact sedan to buy for $29,020? Definitely not a bad price in this day and age where so many prices are absolutely absurd. This is the N-Line trim level, something we have not looked at here on the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel. At least I don't think we have, but we're going to take a look at it today and try to answer that question. And if you want to know more about this particular model, check out the link down in the description of the video. It will take you to the Mike Morgan Hyundai website, and you can learn more about this vehicle if you wish to purchase it or any other in their inventory. One thing we can definitely say that separates the Elantra from a lot of competitors, and that would be body lines. Very racy and very sharp looking. Makes it look like it's a lot more of a fast vehicle than it really is. It is a lot of fun to drive. We'll prove that out on the test drive later on. You will have the rear highlighted here by the black spoiler, LED taillights. We're also going to have the dual exhaust over there on the right-hand side and the rear diffuser back here. And as we move our way around to the front of the vehicle, we will have the power adjustable, heated but manually folding side view mirrors. Gonna have those gloss black mirror caps, and that matches very well with the gloss black grille. A very pronounced look here. The N-Line logo is going to be right there. Now, I am a little surprised we don't have LED headlights. They are projector beam. Obviously, you can fix that. You can change that. I'm sure there are bulbs available to turn those into LEDs. You do have the LED daytime running lights to complement the LED taillights on the rear of the vehicle. And the lines just overall, as far as the design of everything here, looking very nice. You do have the active air curtain right there that allows air to flow through the front end. And speaking of the front end, let's talk a little bit about tire and wheel size. 235 on the width. We're going to have the 40 series sidewall wrapped around those nice looking 18-inch wheels that really match this model perfectly. The N-Line logo right there, and just another look at the body lines. You will have the gloss black trim there on the lower portion of the vehicle, right there under the door sill, that really gives it a more pronounced look. Without that, it wouldn't look quite as low, quite as aggressive, or quite as sporty. What motivates this Elantra to get down the road, at least on the N-Line trim level? The 1.5 liter turbocharged four-cylinder. It makes 201 horsepower, 195 pounds-feet of torque, made it to the 7-speed dual clutch transmission. And no matter what you go with here, there are solid gas mileage numbers no matter which engine option is under the hood of the Elantra. Here are the MPGs on this particular model: 28 city, 36 highway, 31 combined, and an impressive 3.2 gallons of gas used per every 100 miles driven. And within the confines of the cargo area here in the trunk, we're looking at 14.2 cubic feet of cargo capacity. You do have the fold down hook right here for bags and whatever. And if you want to fold down and maximize rear cargo capacity, you have the release to pull on both sides. We're just going to do one side in this case, but you can fold these rear seats flat to take care of everything there. You can see that obviously you have the two different sides to take care of that, and then slide whatever you need to slide through here to help increase cargo capacity. And one thing that's beneficial here, besides the cargo net that this model comes with, you also have space on each side for additional little bits and pieces of whatever you may want to fit in there. But I think one of the best things here for a lot of people, no tire repair kit. You have a tried and true spare tire that really brings a lot of peace of mind instead of having that really less desired, never desired maybe, tire repair kit. And when it comes to the rear seat area, rear seat passengers will be greeted by reasonable size door bends for this particular model of vehicle. Now, I will have to say, a little surprised that that's not soft. It's actually plastic, so kind of a harsh material right there. I don't know. Most of the time when you put your arm on something like that, it doesn't really seem to be as uncomfortable as you might expect. And a nice look with the red contrast stitching, as you can see right there, throughout the interior of the vehicle. Rear seat passengers, when there's not a middle row passenger, middle seat passenger, can take advantage of the fold down armrest with the cup holders built in. And really that's about all we have to talk about here. No USB and no air conditioning vents on the rear of the center console. Now there is a conventional size sunroof here, or maybe a little bit more. It does seem to be a little larger than conventional size, but one way or another, that's what you get. And as we work our way into the front seat, we'll take a look in through the passenger side door. We're going to have a little bit more of a soft touch material here than what we saw on the rear, but you have more of that nice red contrast stitching, a little larger door bin, but the lines here really flowing along with what we see on the exterior here into the interior. The Elantra N logo, or N-Line logo, I should say, is going to be found down there on the floor mats. Nice looking seats, a nice racy, sporty look. Now you're going to find a manually adjustable passenger seat, but over there on the driver's side is going to be a power adjustable seat. And a quick look across the dashboard as far as the lines and everything go. Going to have your dual zone climate control here in the front with heated seats. We need ventilated at this time of the year in Northwest Louisiana, but we just don't have that in this particular case, at least. And at this price point, I guess that's not a bad thing. And taking a look into the glove box, you can see the space that's in there, quite a bit in there. And we're going to continue on with the N-Line theme. You're going to see the N logo there, more of that red to contrast things, and the oh crap handle here to help out when you drop the hammer on that 201 horsepower that you have under the hood. And a little bit of space here as far as places for maybe a cell phone. If somebody's really old school, maybe they're reading a book in the passenger seat, they can stick that in there. Now you might notice that there is no drive mode selector. Well, there is one, it's just not where you might expect it to be. And kind of an old school parking brake, not a power parking brake, but you don't get that old school sound out of it, is the only disappointing part. And a quick look down into the center console just to see what we have within its confines. A decent amount of space for this size of vehicle, and the controls right here for everything to do with controlling that power sunroof. It has the tilt and sliding feature, and a very nice look with the overall design of the map lights here. Quite a bit going on there. Should light the interior very well after dark. And taking a look in through the driver's side door, for the most part, a mirrored image of what we saw on the passenger side, with the exception of the controls for the windows and controlling those heated power side view mirrors we talked about earlier. You do have a manually adjustable tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. Just drop that lever and you're good to go to adjust that as you see fit. The safety features here. And there is that drive mode selector I was talking about. Do you think that works there, or would you rather see it on the center console? And I'll reach up here and we will hit the push button start, and you can see everything come to life. We have the 10.25-inch instrument cluster that really has a nice modern look to it. Nice modern look and feel to it. That flickering look that you see there is common no matter how you adjust the shutter speed on a GoPro. That tends to do that, so just so you know. And all we're going to do is push the button here for our different driving modes. You can see what we have here. We're getting into smart right there. We can go back to normal and go to sport. In my personal opinion, I think sport looks the best. Tell me what you think down in the comments section. You do have the nice large paddle shifters. I've seen some high performance vehicles that are far more expensive than what we have here that have smaller paddle shifters than what we have in this case. A lot of gloss black here on your levers. As far as your turn signal lever, you're also going to control the headlight functionality, the lighting on the exterior of the vehicle. It's even going to tell you there on the right hand side of the instrument cluster what mode you're in as far as your lights go. And then over here, everything controlling the windshield wipers. Obviously, your steering wheel mounted controls are going to be there. And another 10.25-inch screen. As far as the touch screen goes here, that's what you're going to have. A very simple system to learn. You've got set up right here. You can do whatever you need to do. Go through whatever you need to go through. Hit your home right there and go home. And when we go into reverse, there is the view with the camera. In fact, you have a couple of different views here, so depending on what you need to see, you can do that. You can look straight down, make sure you're not going to back into anything that you don't want to hit. So depending on your situation, well, you do have a couple of different views in this particular case. And you can see some of your one-touch features here. Kind of interesting that we have map right there, and then nav next to that. And you might think that's kind of confusing. Wouldn't that be one and the same? No, not really. Navigation just means you're going back to that main screen and you're going to navigate your way through that 10.25-inch touchscreen and all of its features and functionality. There is a lot there as far as that goes. Okay, we're out on the road for the test drive, and one of the main competitors of the Elantra would obviously be the Honda Civic. And one of the things I've said about the 11th generation of the Civic, ever since the first time I drove one, is how well planted they feel to the road. Well, I can pretty much say the same thing here with this Elantra N-Line. It feels very sure of itself, is a good way to put it, out on the road. The handling characteristics are superb. In fact, I feel like the steering itself is a little bit tighter. Doesn't have as much play in the steering wheel as does the Civic. And not that the Civic has a lot, but I just feel more confident as a driver here. Kind of an interesting thing. Maybe it's time to line the Civic and the Elantra up nose to nose for a comparison. I'll have to see if I can get one at Holmes Honda, and we can definitely make that happen. But one way or another, I have to say, this is a fun car to drive. It may not have a lot of horsepower. Obviously, 201 horsepower is by no means a lot, but it's enough to have some fun. It's enough to get out and drive spiritedly and really enjoy the experience of how the Elantra handles, how it drives down the road, how it takes the corners. It doesn't seem to... It's not necessarily going to handle it as a high-performance vehicle, but at the same time, you're not getting an overload of body roll going into a sharp corner if you take it at a reasonable amount of speed. So basically what that amounts to is if you're having a difficult day, a stressful day, and you want to go out for a spirited drive on a road something like this where you don't have to worry about a lot of traffic, there's not going to be hardly anybody around, if anybody at all, you can have a really good time and put the Elantra through its paces, and it's definitely going to deliver in a very solid way. For what it is, it definitely handles extremely well. And when you throw it into a corner somewhat like what we have here, it really handles it very well. I'm really very impressed with that. And overall, just a great vehicle to drive. The gas mileage is solid, as I gave you earlier, and depending on what you want, well, there are options for even better gas mileage beyond what we have here. The ride quality is good. It may not be a Cadillac, but it's also not a tank. So you're going to have a good, comfortable ride quality, a nice leather-wrapped steering wheel, and the technology here, while it may look intimidating, especially if you've never had a vehicle like this before that has all of this sort of technology in it that these Elantras do these days, well, it may seem a little intimidating. It may seem a bit daunting. Don't worry about it. It's not hard to learn, and it's most certainly not hard to use once you've learned it. And keep in mind, you have YouTube to help out with making that so much easier with tutorials that you can go back and repeat over and over again, however many times you need to until you have it all figured out. It's really not that difficult. But I tell you what, acceleration, not bad. Not bad for what it is. It's definitely not neck-snapping performance, but at the same time, well, it definitely won't let you down if you drop the hammer. A really nice, what I would call over-the-road vehicle if you need to take a long road trip. I think it would be solid for something like that. But just overall, it really ticks a lot of the boxes, checks a lot of the boxes that you would want if this is something you're looking for and you're trying to decide between maybe this and the Honda Civic or the Corolla, whatever the case is. The Elantra definitely has a lot to bring to the table, and especially for a very reasonable price point. So tell me what you think down in the comments section. Is the 2023 Hyundai Elantra N-Line the right compact SUV for $29,020? Tell me what your thoughts are on that. Tell me why you answered the way that you did. I'm always curious to know. I have to say a special thanks to my friends at Mike Morgan Hyundai for loaning me this Elantra N-Line for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch and give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and would like to learn about other vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.